welcome back to the channel. It is your girl Alana Simone. So first of all, I wanted to welcome you guys and I hope you had an amazing day. So today we're gonna get right into the video. We're gonna be talking about people may change, but God remains the same. And you know, I think this is something that people have said before. I don't think this is really nothing new under the sun. You know, one thing that we know or should know about God is that He is a God that remains the same. He doesn't change, you know, based off of his, you know, feelings, or He doesn't really change based off of how we feel. Like, He is a God who remains the same. And He has remained the same from the beginning to the end. He has always remains the same. And so He's like one that, you know how like your friend can make you a promise and then they, you know, they say, oh girl, I'm gonna like pay for you to go on this Hawaii trip with me. And you're like, okay, bad girl, when we going, blah, blah. So, you know, a couple weeks pass, they don't really get back to you about it. And then, you know, you reach out to them, then they start, you know, ghosting you, and you like, what's going on? Like, this was my girl. Like, I'm really confused. Like, she promised me that we was, you know, she was gonna pay for my ticket, we was gonna go. Then a few weeks later, you see them, you know, she off on the beach in Hawaii with some other friends, and you like, you know, what just happened? And so a promise was broken, like, and you sitting there confused, like, how's she gonna switch up on me? Like, she just said this and now she doing that, and then she gonna post it too? Like, what's going on? Like, what type of friend is that? So and stuff like that. But I gave this example because, you know, this is real life. People change. People change, like the, you know, the weather changes. One day it's sunny and one day it's raining, and you like, you don't know which, you know, what you're gonna get each day. I mean, of course we have the weather forecast, but it's no guarantee. Like, sometimes the weather just be acting up and doing crazy things. I don't know. I'm in Texas and it be doing that. Like, especially in like the like winter to like spring transition time. This weather is bipolar. One day is summer and one day is winter. So it's crazy. So I'm just so glad that God is not like that, okay? He's not going to be sunny one day and rain the next day. Like, He remains the same. Like, if He has spoken something over your life, if He has promised you something, He remains the same. He's not going to switch up. He's not going to be like, oh girl, you say you pray for a husband? Oh shoot, I forgot. Like, I don't really know if I could do that anymore. You know, stuff like that. He ain't gonna do that. Like, if you ask for a husband and you do everything you're supposed to do and be obedient to what He asked you to do in the process and preparation and waiting season, then girl, He gonna bring you a husband. He not gonna be like, oh my God, I forgot. Or He not gonna post pictures on social media of him blessing somebody else with that, you know, with a husband and not you, after you've been sitting here being obedient to what He has instructed you to do. He's not going to do that. He's not doing that. So just know, like, regardless of how we may feel, regardless, even, I think sometimes even the timing of things, like, we think that things are supposed to happen when we want it to happen. And if it doesn't happen, then God's not real. God's a liar. You know, we say all these crazy things and make up all these crazy things that's not true about God. He remains the same. As long as we're doing our part and we're obeying and trusting and believing what He has spoken over our life, then He is going to bring those things to pass. He's not like a respecter of person. So He's not like, oh, I'm gonna give this person this and I'm not gonna give this person this. I mean, even though they've been, you know, putting in this work over here, I don't really care. I like this person more, so I'm gonna give them this. No, He's not like that. And so oftentimes we get in our head and we start comparing our lives to others, and we start, you know, really just overthinking stuff and thinking that God likes this person more than He likes this person. But no, He's not a respecter of a person. He does say in His word, faith without works is dead. And so we can't require to receive things if we're not putting in the work also. Our faith requires action. And it's not just trusting and believing, it's action behind our faith that we should be putting out, you know, in the things that we're doing, and showing God that we're not only trusting and believing Him, but we're stepping forth and doing the actions and the steps that it takes in order to receive what he has spoken in our life. So just know that. And, you know, through it all, you know, keep your eyes fixed on the Lord, and he will make things in your life come to pass. You know, I've been believing God for so many things in my life, and I've had moments where it was difficult, and I just would, you know, be breaking down crying because I'm like, Lord, I've been doing everything, especially when you've been doing everything you're supposed to do, and you're just sitting there like, okay, what's going on? Hold on. That's when you need Jesus on the main line. Like, hold on. Y'all put Jesus on the phone. Let me speak to God, because I need to figure out what's going on with this promise, okay? Because I'm confused. I've been waiting 2 years for this, and where is this at, okay? So it's stuff like that. That's how I talk to God, and I'm just keeping it real with y'all, because he know I be crazy. I be all over the place with him, but I love it because that's who I am, and he knows who I am, and he accepts me for me. And this is why it's important. I encourage people, have a relationship with God. You know, really cherish that, because you can just talk to him like a friend. You could talk to him like he's your homie, like the regular person that you be hanging out with. That's how I talk to him. You know, I be running everything by him, and he gives me answers. Like, he's incredible. I just love him. But just know through it all, he remains the same. And yes, it might not, he may not move on our timing, but that doesn't mean that he's a liar. That doesn't mean that he is not who he has said he is in his word. He is unshakable. He is Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the one who keeps his promises. He's a promise keeper. He's a waymaker, and he is the one who knows what's best for our life. And so it's like, don't be discouraged and don't be dismayed, you know, in the times where you may feel like, you know, God's not answering you right away, or, you know, you may feel like somebody else is getting blessed more than you. You know, your time will come. It doesn't matter. Like, stop looking at other people's life. That's what I stopped doing long ago. I could care less. Like, I mean, I care, but I'm saying care less in a sense of people, when you understand that people's journey is their journey, like, what God has for them is going to be for them. What God has for me is going to be for me. My job is to remain focused on him and do what he has instructed me to do, so I can receive what he has for me. I can encourage and help and uplift and be there for people on their journey, but I'm not going to compare myself or devalue myself or make myself feel less than because they may be receiving things before I did, or they may be getting blessed what it seems like before I did. But one thing we don't realize is you don't see the behind the scenes. That's why God is God. He sees everything. He sees the big picture. So I don't know how many nights of tears they may have cried. I don't know the battles that they had to face. I don't know the work that they put in. Like, I don't know. So I don't know, you know, all things. Only God knows. So it's like, for me to sit here and compare my life to somebody else, that's a waste of time. Because I know what I'm going through. I know what the work I'm putting in. So when my time comes, it'll come. And this is why I encourage people, like, don't compare your life to other people. Your time will come when it's supposed to come. Like, focus on God, focus on what he has instructed you to do. Oftentimes when we're looking at other people's life and, you know, worrying about them and trying to compare ourselves to them, and then that we, you know, even start devaluing ourselves, thinking what God has already blessed us with is not enough. Like, no, be grateful for what you have. Appreciate what you have. You know, you may not be buying a house right now, but you may, you know, have just saved, a good amount of money. Like, don't discount what you do, like, because you compare it to what somebody else just did. Like, don't do that. Like, so many people get caught up doing that, and it's not good. It's not going to bring out good results in your life, because you're always going to feel less than when God doesn't desire that for you. Like I said, your time is going to come. Focus, put in the work. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing, because when you worry about what everybody else is doing around you and trying to compare, then you lose focus. And then you get further behind because you're not focused on what you need to do. So I encourage you today, someone today, focus on God. First of all, focus on the things that he has instructed you to do, and your time will come. Just know that, like, we all have our time. We all have appointed times for different things that God will bring in our life. Like, just have the faith and trust to believe and put in the work. Like, that's how, you know, things are given to us. Like, we've got to put in that work. Like, that's what I tell people about my life. Like, people can look at my life and they have so many opinions, and that's their own opinion. But me and God know the truth. Behind the scenes, you know, y'all see me like talking and stuff, but I be putting in work. Like, I be having goals for myself. I be like working on myself. I be trying to be the best version of myself possible. I try to be the best version of me than I was yesterday. Like, I'm on that type of like time with myself, like, because I have a desire to want to succeed. I have a desire to want to go after anything that I want, because why? I know with God all things are possible, and so I can do and achieve and have anything I want if I do the work and put in that work. And so it's like, a lot of people don't want to be put in the work. They want things handed to them, and it's like, that's not really how life works. Like, I've learned, first of all, in working and having a good work ethic and just understanding the principles of working and knowing that your faith is tied in also with your actions, you look at life differently, because you realize that when you work for something, you value it more. So when it's given to you, you appreciate it, rather than somebody handing something to you. You don't really care about it. You're like, oh, somebody just gave that to me. Well, like, imagine somebody giving something to you. You don't really care. Like, it's like, you may accept it, but you're not gonna necessarily value it the same way as if you put in hard work, tears, sweat, and labor into something. Like, and that's the thing. That's why I really like working, because it's like, I can now, when I receive something or accomplish something, I'm like, okay, now I can value it and, you know, appreciate it more, because I actually worked for it and you knew what it took in order to get it. So anyway, through it all, let's just say, in all things, know that in all things, all situations, know that despite how we feel, God is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So be encouraged and know that you can trust him. And, you know, sometimes it may be difficult and we may feel like we may be waiting a long time, but don't give up. Don't be discouraged. Know that he will make things in your life come to pass in the right timing. Like, it's all about his timing, and he knows the best timing for our life. So be encouraged today, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.